guys excited for the Talent and Award Show tonight? It's going to be an amazing show. First and foremost, what I'd like to do is introduce to you a guy that you guys have been working with all week and that I've known for over 20 years. I think he's the hardest working man in show business. Let's give him a warm welcome, Mr. Adrian Armonte.
She's right. I am the hardest working man in television, right? How you guys doing? I don't know why I'm standing down here. This is where she was standing, so I'm going to stand here. But I'm going to bring some cool people up here for you guys to do a Q&A. I know all of you guys got to work with them this week, but you didn't really get to ask them questions. So we're going to bring them up so you can ask a bunch of questions, some industry questions. I also have a little surprise guest for you as well. How many of you guys know Selena? Yeah, exactly. She ain't here, dude. But I got some killers, okay? But I just want to say one thing really quickly because as you know, we work hard to help you in this business. This is a tough business. It's not for everybody. It's really for people that have talent, personality, and passion. So that talent is a God's gift, and you can work on it to make it a professional talent. And the personality is just something that just oozes out of you. You're an entertainer. You like to make people laugh, cry. You use your gift. And the passion, to me, passion is someone who never quits, always works hard, like myself, who took 3 years when I first came to LA to get an agent. 3 years, and we all know I'm good, right? 3 years. So those of you sitting right there and cried because you didn't get a call back today, you're worthy of this business because you have the passion. I cried too. Yes, please, thank you, thank you. I get it. I've been there crying because I want it so badly, but you guys know you can come back anytime. I'm going to continue to help you. If you give up, then this isn't for you, okay? Remember my story of a girl who did it 5 times. On the 5th one, she finally got her agent and manager, and her career hasn't stopped since. And some of you met her when she came and stopped by to say hi. Her name was Gracie Lacey. So I can keep giving you a ton of stories like that, but you keep working hard, and you always have the celebrity experience for you, yeah? Yes. All right, without further ado, we're going to do a Q&A. So this man's going to run the show for us. You guys know me. He's my business partner, also my brother. He was in my wedding with me. He's been doing this for his whole life. He actually started off as a model. He was acting as well. Then he decided to be behind the scenes. He is a best-selling author. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Yes. And he also had a hit movie out that some of my friends starred in called Pop Star on a network called Lifetime. Put your hands together for George Caceres. Yes. Yes. One of the most passionate guys I know right there. Next up, you guys know him from this awesome show called The Sweet Life on Deck. It wasn't as good as The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, but it was okay, right? And I actually met him through a very good friend of mine. His name is Phil Lewis. He played Old Mr. Mosby, that guy. And since then, we have bonded. He was also in my wedding. Put your hands together for Matt Timmons, who played Woody. Yeah. All right, next up, you guys know her. She's from High School Musical, Legally Blonde, a bunch of shows. Just look her up, but mostly known for playing Kelly Wainwright on Big Time Rush, Tanya Chisholm. Oh, stop it. Just stop. Yes. The next guy starred in a movie with one of the most famous people on this earth. Got his big break from this movie, Selena Gomez, movie called Ramona and Beezus. But he also did Brother Den. He was also on The Sweet Life on Deck. I can keep naming all these great shows. But he was the star of Zeke and Luther. He played Zeke, Hutch Dano. Come on out here, bud. Now, this next one, I gotta look it up. Now, this next guy, he actually did this a while ago, but I want to make sure I get his credits right. He's an awesome dude. I met him through a mutual friend, and she told me she had this guy who was a series regular on a show called Ant Farm, and I was like, okay, well, who is he? When I met him, this guy is the real deal. Got his break on shows like, he was in show called Bones. You guys seen Bones? That dramatic show? That was a really epic show, right? Also, a show that was called Heroes with Hayden Panettiere, and a record-breaking show that's still airing and still playing, called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You know that show? Yes. He was the lead in Ant Farm. Put your hands together for Carlin Jeffrey. He played that wacky character Cameron on Ant Farm. So this is your celebrity panel. George is going to run the show. I'm going to hand them a mic so they can answer the questions. I love you guys. I am out. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. Okay, thank you, everybody. Have we had an amazing week or what? What? Big thank you to Adrian. Yeah. Okay, I'm really excited. This is actually my favorite part of the whole week, obviously because it's around me. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Because it's really very industry, and it's just so incredible to watch all of these amazing actors and their journeys, where they started from and what got them to where they are right now and where they're going. Because acting is, you evolve. You constantly evolve as an actor. You're constantly growing. And like Matt over here, I know he started as a kid actor. So Matt, can you talk about your journey a little bit as a child actor, and how that's helped you become who you are today?
So yeah, I excuse my voice, by the way, as you guys can hear and you know from the past few days. This shows how hard we've been working with you guys. But so, you know, like George said, and I know you all know this by now, you know, I started when I was about 5 years old. And the thing that I always like to tell people, you know, especially for family and parents who have young ones and starting them young, a lot of times their concern is, you know, you hear about these, you know, crazy child stars, and, you know, they have a crazy life, and, you know, they end up doing, you know, bad things and making bad choices and things like that. But there's a whole other group of, you know, young child actors, you know, like me, who grew up in this industry and have had a great career, and we didn't fall down that path, and we didn't do that. And I think a lot of it goes down to family, don't hate me, but you. It's usually a lot of times, you know, you think about Lindsay Lohan. Was she born, you know, making those choices? No. Look at her parents. They didn't make the best choices either. I want you guys to know that, you know, people like me, I started at a young age, but really what it did is it taught me good work ethic. It taught me how to be professional. You know, how many 14-year-olds at the time knew how to balance a checkbook? You know, I knew how to do that because I was making money and I was working, and so my family helped me and said, let me give you these life lessons. Let me show you the things that you're gonna need to know and do as you grow up. So, you know, you can ask Adrian. I've been working in New Adrian, you know, since I was like 15, 16 years old. You can ask him. Exactly. You know, everyone always thought that I was older than I was, but it was just because I knew how to hold myself. I knew how to present myself. I grew up with a lot of different personalities. So growing up in the industry from a young age, all it's done is given me a lot of life lessons and kind of showed me, you know, to gear towards the right, not the wrong. So, yeah.
Amazing. It's very true. And you know, it's really great because when you start as a child actor, you actually end up learning business as well. So you get an idea of how to run your money, what you know, how to run your career. You watch everybody that's behind you, and you get a different aspect of it. As you grow up and you evolve, some people evolve into different areas in the business. Some people become directors, producers. Some people become editors. Some people just become the most amazing people, or presidents of the United States. That's happened. So I believe one of the reasons we do this is because we create incredible people, not just actors, but amazing people that live a better life by understanding themselves. And that's the best gift you could have as an actor. So going into Tanya.
Hello.
Tanya's a very interesting person.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. Tanya doesn't just act, she sings.
Silly me.
All right.
Couldn't do it again.
But Tanya was, you've been involved in High School Musical, right?
Yeah, I was in the second High School Musical movie.
Yes, absolutely.
I sing and I dance.
And so you were involved in a different type of production that involved dancing, singing. Can you talk a little bit about your experience with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say probably like 60% of the work that I booked is because I also sing and dance. So it was awesome. I was a musical theater major. I went to UCLA and studied theater. I got in for straight theater, and then I was like, wait a minute, I also sing and dance. And so they let me into the musical theater program. So it's been really cool to use both of those passions, because as a child, I grew up in Florida, and since I was 7 years old, I always wanted to be an actor, and there was nothing like this that existed to help young performers, get into the industry professionally. So I was just dreaming of it, and in the meantime, I did a lot. I danced, I did ballet for 22 years, and that was kind of how I performed. So it's awesome to be able to use all of the different skill sets in your acting. And I always tell, all of the kids, like, everything that you do that you're passionate about is only going to help you as an actor, because if they need a soccer player and you play soccer, guess what? You're at the top of that list because you know how to move, you know how to do it. And so, my episodes of Cold Case that I did were all dancing, High School Musical, yeah.
And then television, you did Big Time Rush.
Yes.
So tell us the difference from filming High School Musical to doing television, Big Time Rush. Explain the difference with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you shoot a movie, it's like, a month, 2 months in a specific place. So for High School Musical 2, we shot it in Utah, in St. George, Utah, and it was really cool because first of all, I am older than I look, so I was like, a full-blown adult with all of these like 15-year-olds, but it was really fun. It was like we were at camp, like everyone stayed in this like cul-de-sac, and we all had different houses, and we had pool parties and went to dance rehearsals in the day and then shot at night, and it was so much fun. And you really become like a family for that month, but then you go away and never see each other again. But with Big Time Rush, that was really awesome because it was the first time that was like my first like job where you get up, you go to work every day, Monday through Friday, you know your schedule, you know how much money you're going to be making, you know when you can take vacation, and those people really become your family because you are working with them 14 hours a day. It's a really fun experience, and I was so blessed to be part of that cast because everyone in the cast, the crew, every single guest star that came on our show was like, I have never been on a set where everybody loves each other so much and everyone's so kind and funny. And that show really was the show that I was like, I really want to do comedy for my career. In this business, you kind of do what you get until you're at a place where you can pick what you want to do. But doing Big Time Rush, I was like, there is nothing like going to work every day and just laughing all day. It's so like good for the soul.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So, Hutch. Mr. Hutch. Awesome Hutch.
Hello.
Hello. So you were actually involved in Matt Dearborn's show, Zeke and Luther. You were Zeke.
Yes, I was.
And it was kind of revolutionary because I think you were one of the first shows on that channel.
Yes, on Disney XD.
I've been involved with different people from when they started the Disney Channel, and it just, from even Stevens on, and then all of a sudden it just blew up and got crazy, and then they did Disney XD, which is mainly for more boys, I believe.
Yeah, for the
Right.
for the boys channel. Yeah,
Right.
It was.
So tell me that experience. What was it like to be involved in the XD, which is a brand new channel, and how was your experience with working with these seasoned Disney professionals?
Sure. Hello, everyone. How are you? Hope everyone's good. Working on Disney XD was really cool. I will say it was very difficult to describe it to people because when I booked the show, I was like, I booked a Disney show, and they went, oh, it's going to be on the Disney Channel, and I went, well, hold on. So hold on, it's Disney, but it was going to be Disney XD, and it hadn't come out yet. And that was their goal. They wanted to reach kind of, the boys, because Disney Channel at the time had been kind of geared more towards girls. So I was really excited to do that, and I was really lucky because working with Matt Dearborn and Tom Burkhardt, they actually fought for me to book the role. And Matt Dearborn especially, he called me up and he said, I need you to come to this house and we're going to shoot a few scenes for the head of Disney so that I can prove that you can be on set, you can do a good job. And I was so nervous that day at school, I didn't get anything done. And then I went over there and I got the call a few days later. So it was an incredible experience, really.
Awesome. Thank you. So what advice would you give these kids that their dream is Disney? What advice would you give them?
Ooh. For me, Disney loves to cast people who are themselves, who are original. And I think that's one of my favorite things about this program is I get to meet so many young actors with these beautiful personalities. That they are their own person and they own it. And a few times I've had to coach people and they've been doing a comedic scene and I've gone, no, be yourself. I want to see you, the person before we start class. That's who I want to see. That's who's going to book the job. So for me, I love that. It's all about just being yourself. Trust yourself. God gave you a beautiful soul. I always think that you should utilize it, especially in this business. So that would be my advice.
Amazing. And by the way, that is what Adrian has created. In this business, it's about buyers, making film or television. It's not just necessarily the producer, but it's also the advertisers. And they follow the advertisers and what are they looking for? That's why the business constantly evolves and changes. And someone like Adrian is always on top of it and make sure that they have the right techniques and everybody's camera ready, right?
Absolutely.
So hey, give it up to Adrian again. So, little gossip stuff.
Okay.
How was it like working with Selena Gomez?
Well, first off, at the time I was 15 and I had a crush on her.
Uh-oh.
So when I got to set, I'm pretty sure that I was kind of a bumbling fool the first time that I met her, and I just kind of said, "Hey, my name's Hutch. I'm going to be playing." Who am I going to be playing? And I kind of I kind of just lost my words. But she's as wonderful as you think she is. She really is an amazing person, and she was very, very cool to me, and it was my first big film, and she really helped me at times because the nerves got to me a few times on that film, and she was there, and she kind of dealt with the fame, and she dealt with doing movies before, and she'd already been on the Disney Channel for a while. So to this day, I probably still utilize things that she taught me, and I'm very blessed to have worked with her that day.
And I just want to bring up a point about what he's saying. She was kind and
Absolutely.
she was good. She was very helpful.
Absolutely.
She wasn't stuck up.
No.
Okay. So lesson number 1: always remain humble. Always.
Yes.
Because in this business, these producers, directors, studio heads, they have a choice on who they want to work with. So they don't necessarily care about your numbers. The guy up on top doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they don't want to put up with somebody like that anymore. The industry's changed. You have to remain humble.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. Carlin!
Yes, sir.
Hey!
How you doing, sir?
First of all, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh. So you've been around for a long time and worked with in some of the most incredible shows.
Yes.
And I love Ant Farm, personally. That's, yeah. So do you?
Thank you.
So can you talk to us about your journey, how you got started, and who's helped you make the decisions that you've made? Because you've done some really smart choices in your career.
Indeed. Thank you. Well, my journey, it's kind of similar to this one, which is why I love when Adrian is able to bring me out, because I started in a showcase. And I actually started out with music. I was rapping before I was acting. And I didn't know that I actually had a passion for acting until the showcase. We had to come up with a monologue. And I don't know if you guys remember the movie Like Mike, but there was a certain scene in there where he's talking about how he's an orphan and how he wants to become better and just better his life. So I chose that one. And it was my first time ever doing it. It was in Florida. Oh my goodness, it's making me nervous because I was actually extremely nervous at the time. But I wound up taking first place in the monologue. And from that point on, I just knew that I had a love for acting and that it was going to stick with me for the rest of my life. And some people that have influenced me and helped guide me within my career would definitely have to be my manager, Carl Alexander, and also my parents as well. They're always on my back and just making sure I do the right thing. So, yeah, that's kind of how I got my start off into the industry.
Awesome. So,
oh, yeah.
Can you do any bars?
I'm a stand. Hey, yo, they want young CZ to try to take it easy. Palms stay greasy, pockets stay cheesy. Record labels, A&Rs do anything to please me. Diamond cut necklace, half a carat to freeze me. I'ma sit down.
Yep.
I just wanted to say, if you notice, Adrian just threw something out and we all had something ready, right? So that's just for you guys as performers. Like when we said come with 2 monologues, you're like, but why do we don't? How would you have something ready? If you do something, if you sing, if you dance, if someone asks you to do it, do it. Don't be like,
Always be prepared. You
Always be
never
prepared.
know when you're going to get that moment.
Uh-oh.
Matt, tap.
I know my strengths. Thank you.
Okay, so, yeah.
Funny story. Funny story, actually, because you said how you started in a showcase like this, and the monologue that you talked about, I know exactly that monologue because I didn't do it. Because we had a student here yesterday when we did the showcase do that monologue, and I won't like point anyone out or anything. I don't even know if he's here right now, but he was struggling a lot at first because he was so in his head with self-doubt and getting the lines down and all that kind of stuff. So I cannot see any of you, but if you're in here, that monologue works. He's up here right now.
Yeah. So I'm going to open it up to questions and ask smart questions. We should? Where is he? Questions? God, am I that thorough? What? He's coming with the mic.
Over here?
What?
Just stand up.
Stand up if you have questions. Oops, there he goes.
Stand up and just start talking because we can't see you.
Wait, what?
It's on. Good question. You have a question, don't you? What's your question?
Go ahead.
George.
George, how long have you been working here?
George, how long have I been working? I told you smart questions. How old am I? No, for a really long time. You mean at TCE? Or working as in the industry? What's that? Celebrity Experience. Yes. It's going on 7 years now. Does that answer your question?
Anyone else? Y'all ain't got no questions?
Harley, who's your favorite person to work with of all time?
Ooh, I would have to say, this is going to sound cliche, but China Anne McClain. But this is the reason why. The way that she breaks down scripts is completely amazing. Just being able to sit back and if there was a quick change that came off camera, she could just take it in, make it funny, make it her way, make it original. So I would have to say China because of that. Her quickness and wittiness, amazing. Yes, yes, indeed.
It's amazing. And she sings and dances.
Yes, yes, she's
Amazing.
talented, very.
George,
Yes.
what's your favorite TV show or movie you've ever acted in?
I'm not an actor.
Oh,
No, I mean,
your
I came to
favorite-
Hollywood to become an actor, and it took me about a month to realize that I was terrible. That was not my thing. Not my thing. So then I became a model. So yeah, I've never really acted. Sorry.
Ooh.
If you think that was an actual boat, you're stupid. Okay.
Ooh, I got a question.
This question is for all four celebrities. How did you deal with rejection? And how do you cope with rejection over and over again?
Tears and ice cream. No, honestly, I think when you're young, like when I first started out and I was a kid, in a sense, it's more emotional, but also less emotional because you don't really think about. It's like you remember, like, oh, but I really wanted that, but then you're a kid, and then you're like, oh, I'm distracted now. But like, I think as you get older and you get more, and you get all that rejection, it's kind of just it fuels the fire. It instead of focusing on the negative of it, you focus on the positive and think, hey, I didn't get this audition, but that's a new casting director that has seen my face and has seen my talent. Or, hey, I didn't get this audition, but I learned that because I didn't take the time to really work on my sides and work on my lines and make strong choices or whatever it is, that's on me. I know I can change that. So I always just use it to fuel the fire for the next audition, for the next opportunity that came my way, rather than dwell and sulk on but I really wanted it, and I really, I was so excited about it, all that kind of stuff. Always focus on the future, never the past.
That's good. My advice, it's not rejection. Like, the more you get into this business, the more you see, like, step on set and see everything that's going on, there's so many moving pieces that you realize it's not about you. It really isn't. And for me, I feel like everyone needs to go into this business with the mindset that you're going to succeed and that you're going to win no matter what. And what is for you, we have a saying in Jamaica, what is for you can't be unfair, which means what's for you can't be not for you. So as you go forward and you do auditions, like Matt said, like you met another casting director, you want to win the room. Obviously you want to book the job, but that's not really in your control. So the stuff that is in your control, whether you memorized your lines, whether you showed up on time, whether you made a connection with the casting director and sent them a thank you note after, all of the things that are in your control, worry about that and then move on to the next. And I just like to think that it's not a rejection of me or a no to me, but it's somebody else's yes. And there's room for like everyone at the table. There's room for everybody's talents, and someone receiving doesn't mean you're being taken away from.
Well, rejection is, wow, that is a much stronger microphone. Okay, sorry. Rejection is really just, it's unfortunate, but it is a part of life. So for me, it's something that I can't tell you how many times, and I'm speaking now that it's been a couple of years that I've learned this lesson, but before that, I always took every no at every audition personally. And it would really mess up my week, I would say. And it took me until a couple of years ago when I really started talking with casting directors and producers and finding out the casting process. And a lot of the times, the reasons that people don't get picked, you would never think of. I remember one time I didn't book something and I found out later it was because the head actor was 5'11" and he wouldn't work with anyone who was 6 feet tall.
It was me.
So at the end of the day, rejection is just a part of it, but you can't take it personally. You just have to keep trucking on, and eventually you're going to find the roles that are right for you, and you will succeed as long as you just follow your heart. Everything will be all right. So.
Personally, for me, rejection has grown tougher skin for me. I would say rejection also, since it's a part of life, getting it so young and at an early age, it helped me throughout my adulthood as well. Because as a child, I kind of had things come a little easy to me. So when going into these rooms, coming out of these rooms, getting that phone call, hearing that no, it's like, okay, I'm not perfect. I know that there's some things that I have to work on. So it helped me grow tougher skinned and helped me become more dedicated as well.
Awesome. Okay, next question. Yes.
George, how old did you start?
I was 19. I'm not an actor. Just the other day. Yes.
This is a weird question, but does Matt actually tap dance? And is Selena actually coming or not?
If the price is right. Okay? If the check is big enough and I see enough zeros, I'll tap dance all night.
Yes.
What are some mistakes that you guys have made in your careers that you guys regret to this day?
Say that again?
Mistakes that you guys have made in your careers?
Mistakes that you've made in the careers? I'm going to address me on that since I have a mic. I really don't look at things as mistakes, because when you make a mistake, it just opens an opportunity for you to grow and expand and see things differently. And then you'll never make that same mistake again.
Yeah, I think my answer is pretty similar. Sure, there's, when I was younger, maybe I would have negotiated a contract a little different, or, maybe not stayed with certain agents for as long as I did, or, like little things like that. But when I look back on it, I don't regret it. There's not a mistake. It's not a regret. It's just I learned from it, As my career went on and I booked more things, I realized my worth. I realized what I can negotiate. I realized all those things. So I don't view it as mistakes or anything like that.
I don't make mistakes. I'm just kidding. Joke. I feel like same, but I think if I could pick one thing, it would be, so when you're a series regular on a show, specifically on Nick or Disney, they really try and control what you do, like on your hiatuses. Like they don't want you to work. Because, and especially like specific roles, like if you get a role that's kind of gritty or whatever, they don't want you to do that because you're playing a specific character for children. And if I had it to do over again, and I would suggest to everyone, like when you are on the up, like when you're coming up, that's when you need to work like even harder than you were working before. Like work during your hiatuses. To me, it's better to say you're sorry than ask for permission in this context. But make sure that you are the one who is looking out for your career the most. It's easy to get on a show and be like, whoa, yes, I get my bonus at the end of the year. I'm making like a decent amount of money, but shows end. Like they do. And I know I had this thought that like, oh, well, now that this is happening, now it's just going to be easy and everything is going to be, and maybe some people have that experience. But my suggestion is to really, like, when you're coming up, work even harder to secure that next thing and that next thing, because the way this business works is not like, what have you done? It's what have you done yesterday. So.
I agree with everybody down the line so far. I would say that mistakes are, once again, it's life. You're going to make mistakes. That's just how it is. Regret is pointless. It doesn't do you any good. If anything, I'm 27 years old and I'm happier now than I've been in a long time. So all those mistakes that I did make are the reason why I feel the way I feel and I am who I am today. So for me, that's why I don't mind it. I don't mind the mistakes. So.
You got a lot of Hallmark things to say today. Yeah, really heartwarming.
I didn't.
He's got it all written on his palm. I can see it.
For me, I would say just a little less selective as to the things that I personally did. So I would say, for instance, I did a short film called Strange Things About the Johnsons. Now, I get a lot of slack for this film because it also involves a same sex. I'm working with someone with the same sex. But once it came out, I was a little hesitant about it just because of my peers on how they would view me. I was just self-conscious of these things. But hearing the responses that I got back from it was amazing. So I thought that I was making mistakes, being less selective, but I truly wasn't. So just step outside of your comfort zone is what I really want to say.
Awesome. Great. Okay, guys, so we have time for one more question.
Hi. How has social media influenced this industry today? How many likes, how many followers, how many Snapchats, how many TikToks you've done? How has it made it a little different?
Now we're getting into business questions.
Yeah.
It's very important, but I'll let you guys talk about that.
Well, who has the most followers?
Who has the most
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I think it's important. I think everyone has a different experience, right? I have never had anyone ask me in an audition setting how many followers I had, or to my knowledge, maybe it happened and I wasn't aware of it, that they were looking at that, but that hasn't been my experience. But of course it helps. If it's between you and another person and you have 100,000 followers and this person has 1 million followers, that 1 million followers translates to viewers, which translates to money. So social media is really important to grow your business and is kind of like the front page of your business, which is you. So you want to treat it like a business, but also not get caught up in the whole oh my God, how many likes did I get? How many, the whole thing about social media is growing a following of people who are invested in you and who love what you have to say. And that will translate itself.
Yes.
But also, social media is very important, obviously. Also, don't think, though, social media or a big following or likes takes away from talent. At the end of the day, your talent is going to power through. There are situations where maybe, if it's a close call between people or people will get cast because of their amount of followers, that's great. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to build a career and sustain a career in this industry. So just like Tanya said, don't get all caught up in it. Have fun with it. Use it as another way to show off your personality. At the end of the day, though, it's your training and your talent that matters.
All right. Well, we got to go. It's time. So, guys, thank you very much. That was awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Big hand for these guys.